Prevalence of female psychopaths more common than believed. No kidding. And this is a very important article, guys, because our sex has been and is still being demonized. To be male is to be evil. To be evil is to be male. And so we have to always gather these articles that prove otherwise. Now, this guy, Dr. Bodie, he finds out that the conventional ratio of male to female psychopaths was 6-1. But now they're finding out the evidence suggesting it's closer to 1-1. Exactly. And you know why? Because this guy, Bodie, he's been researching psychopaths in the workplace and corporate psychopaths since 2005. So they were checking out all the psychopaths as hardened criminals, right? So of course it looked like it was male dominated because the psychopaths that have to deal with violence directly are male. But once you got into the manipulative side of psychopathy, which is what you'll find in CEOs of companies, the women are every bit as bad as the males. It's just that the women don't have to be violent like the men to get what they want, right? Now, I'm going to prove that women are violent. The Pro Male Collective, luckily, has been collecting all these articles that show otherwise, and here's just a few of them. Here's a woman accused of killing 2 of her children over custody, right? Now, this woman looked like a psychopath? No, she looks like the girl next door. And the scary part is she probably is this girl next door. Because women get what they want. Women get what they want. So when they finally hit a wall where they can't get what they want, then the violence shows up. Their psychopathy is hidden. And the sad part, this woman may not be a psychopath, right? She just may be a typical woman who says, I want something. You know, here's another one. Woman jailed for murdering a man who loved her, right? So that's violence. Look, Vegas sisters lured man for sex before robbing, killing him. But to kill him, they didn't say poisoning, so they probably stabbed him. So that's violent. And here's one. Woman commanded a dog to maul her ex-boyfriend's daughter, 9, to death. Look at this sweetheart. She's only 9. This woman sicked a vicious dog on her. That's gladiatorial arena levels of violence. So women are just as violent as men, and I would argue even more. How many men do you know that sicked a dog on a little girl? Right? Now, he says, the research indicates that societal gender biases has obscured the true nature and prevalence of female psychopaths. Of course it has. We all have this bias in us, who often employ manipulation and seduction rather than violence to achieve their goals because they have a choice. Remember, this guy, Bodie, has researched CEOs, corporate psychopaths. The males don't have to be violent there. They're using manipulation, right? And so women have seduction but when they don't have that, they become just as violent as any guy, right? Now, let's see. He puts it in a nutshell. Bodie's research suggests the ratio, of course, is closer to 1-1. And he talks about the gender bias and also the implication of society and business, which is severe. I'll get down to that. Okay. I'll get down to that. Now, look what he found. People generally attribute psychopathic characteristics to males rather than females. So even when females display some key traits associated with psychopathy, such as being insincere, deceitful, antagonistic, unempathetic, and lacking in emotional depth, because these are seen as male characteristics and may not be labeled as such, even when they should be. But that list, being insincere, deceitful, and antagonistic, how is that not a female trait? Antagonistic? This woman's willing to murder her own children just to slam her husband, her ex-husband, right? Also, female psychopaths tend to use words because they can, rather than violence, to achieve their aims, differing from how male psychopaths tend to operate. See, this is where even Bodhi's getting it wrong. Men tend to operate like this because they have less choice. Given the choice, all male psychopaths would be corporate psychopaths. They would they would gladly use verbal manipulation rather than have to do violence. They don't have that option every time. If female psychopathy expresses differently, which it doesn't really, then measures designed to capture the identity and identify male criminal psychopaths may be inadequate to identify female non-criminal psychopaths. Exactly. Psychopathy does not necessarily equate to criminality. So when they were looking for psychopaths, they looked at the male criminal body. And lo and behold, so many more psychopaths are male, right? Female psychopaths will not as severely, that's a lie. I'm not going to bypass that, have nevertheless been unestimated in their incident levels and therefore are more potential threat to business and society than anyone previously suspected. That's right. That's right. So, like these women who lured that guy through seduction, then murdered him. They could do that for a very long time. They could rack the body count up before they're caught, right? Or even worse, they could be that woman who has the children and everyone thinks she's so good and she gets along with everyone until she doesn't get her way. And then the children get ex murdered, right? This has implications for the criminal justice system because current risk management decisions involving partners and children may be faulty. Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah, involving children. Right. May be faulty, are faulty. It also has implications for organizational leadership selections, decisions, because female leaders cannot automatically assume to be honest, caring, and concerned with issues such as corporate societal responsibility. And this is what I have to say from the past. Men actually said in the past that men should be in leadership positions because men take care of business. They have a sense of responsibility. Male leaders will look after the female citizenry. Female leaders attack the male citizenry, right? We've seen that. So this is a short, I'll put this article in, and I just want to point out, guys, that, female psychopaths, I'm not even saying this woman is a psychopath. When it comes to family and business, women can destroy it in a heartbeat. Because people don't see women as bad people. They just assume that they're good always. It's not until when the shit hits the fan, it's too late. And this is proof that women don't give a shit about family and children. They never did. And they definitely don't care about, looking after society. Anyway, this is the point of the video, guys. We have to fight the demonization of our sex. And so that's what I'm doing. See you around.